My name is Allegra Perhays, and I live past the checkpoint on Papaya Farms Road, on Old Government Road. I really want to thank Civil Defense for all the work they've done and everybody on the placard rules. It doesn't work for me. I live beyond the checkpoint, so that means that anybody who wants to come to see me has to drive to Hilo, get a placard, come back, and come see me. I'm an elderly woman who has helpers. A couple of friends who come by during the week. Now they can't do that. So I would like to say this does not work for me, and I want to figure out a way with the county how I can have one car come in twice a week. That's my question.
Thank you for sharing, and if you would possibly fill out one of the purple cards, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, we're ready for the next speaker. Please say your name and where you live or did live prior.
My name is Brian, and I live on Railroad Avenue at Stubborn Woman Farm. And I want to talk to you guys about the placards, the DLNR, and I hope I can get it done in 2 minutes. DLNR, first responders, everybody, thank you. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate what you're doing. I'd like to talk about what I've seen happen. So people who live on Papaya Farms Road and who live on Noni Farms Road walk out on Railroad with their groups of friends to see the lava. The DLNR guy comes out and says, "What are you doing?" And they say, "Oh, we're here to see the lava." Indignant white people are talking about, yeah, we need to be here to see the lava. Hey man, those guys, they're our first line of defense. They're there for your safety, to keep you out of the lava. And all kinds of stuff. I've seen this over and over again. Stubborn woman at Stubborn Woman Farm takes in all the animals. So she picks up a dog in the driveway with a tag on it, calls the number, yes, all right, 1 minute, calls the number on the tag, and the guy is receiving cancer treatment in Oahu. 77-year-old veteran, his house gets wiped out. He's got the dog and the car. Now I have the veteran and the dog, which is totally cool. But my point in this is that I took him down, got him a placard. I've had no problems with the placards. I go down with my TMK, my driver's license. I have 10 employees who come and go all of the time. FedEx, the gas company, everybody comes and goes. I never have a problem. Anybody wants to come and visit, surprise visit, yeah, they show up, it's not a problem. The other thing is DLNR, somebody got up here and talked about the turtles. Well, when they were talking about the turtles, they made a complaint on June 9th. Well, the place where they were talking about 40 or 50 turtles, there were only 3 or 4. And that place got taken by the lava on the 3rd. So why give the DLNR a black eye? It's not right. Time's up. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Herschel, and I used to live in Lani Puna Gardens. So this is my question. Is the county or state still considering condemning land that was covered by lava and possibly purchasing it from the owner?
Okay, thank you for your question. Duly noted.
Good evening. My name is Renee Siracusa. I live in Kaohe Homesteads and I work in Pahoa. I want to thank you for realizing that there were some problems with the way the previous meetings were being run and attempting to fix it. And we're seeing the result tonight. I'm inspired by this aloha etiquette, and I would like to point out that it goes both ways. And part of the reason why we had problems last meeting was because it wasn't going both ways. So my aloha etiquette for the county people and the agencies who come here, and I'm going to read it to you. Listen to understand what the community is telling you. Don't just justify your behavior. Be respectful. Don't cut people off. Respect goes both ways. If you can't answer a question, say so. Tell us you look into it or ask an agency person to respond. We are adults. Most of us are older than you. Don't patronize us. Don't big brother us. Please be transparent. And finally, stop sending mixed messages. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're ready for you. Name and where you are living.
Sherry King. I was up on Cinder Road. I'm currently at the shelter, moving out at the end of the week. The reason I'm up here is rumor and innuendo creates a lot of chaos at the shelter and confusion. Everyone that I talk to in the little group around us are always afraid that they're going to be kicked out. They're going to be kicked out. They're closing, kicking us out. Lack of communication and transparency to the people who are there is stressful when you either have no home or it's not safe to go home. And I think all agencies are guilty of this. And now that the chefs are leaving, the quality of food is going to go down. And I don't know what else to say because I'm nervous. But you need to come up with solutions for the people who can't go home because of SO2 levels, because they have health problems. Maybe we need to do, I don't know, swap out or get them into housing, because some of them are too big for the temporary small homes.
Thank you.
My name is Robert Golden. I live in Leilani. My house is in the mandatory evacuation zone, but I'm living in Upper Leilani right now. I first want to shout out to Sharon and to Dennis. They've done an exemplary job in terms of allowing us to go back into our homes and to take care of them. That flexibility has been awesome, and I thank Civil Defense for that. Where I call into question is what I see as a certain rigidity in Civil Defense in terms of trying to protect us. And I sort of second what Renee said. I feel like it's sort of a big brother that I cannot take care of myself. Now, we've been under this system now, this is now going into August. Certain PS patterns have been set up, even by the lava, that there's no, for example, the Leilani Community Center is not in danger of any lava flow. And if we would have a place to meet in Leilani, that would help serve the community. I really like to see the Civil Defense work towards getting us back to a community and giving us more freedom. And I heard those lists of restrictions, and I'm wondering, am I allowed to ride my bike? Am I allowed to take my friends into Leilani? It seems to be cumbersome. Can I go to the barricade, show them the lava flow? Am I allowed that kind of access in my community? That's what I'm wondering about, and it's very unclear from what Talmadge read. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ian MacArthur. I lived in Lonnie Puna Gardens.
Can you step a little closer to the mic, please?
Okay. My question is, my house is in a kaipuka right now. It's not accessible, nor does it look like it ever will be accessible. And I'm sure everybody down Pawiki Road is in the same boat, and in Leilani. In order to move on with the insurance, the house has to be destroyed, or I don't know what could be done. If you would, they would condemn it. I'm not sure if that'd be a county problem. And I don't want to set up a system that if I have my house condemned, my neighbors are also condemned. This would be like an individual thing, a request, I guess. I don't even know who to ask about that. But a lot of people just can't move on with their insurance because their house is isolated and the insurance says, well, we can't do anything until it's gone. And that's kind of like an open-ended thing. We're just living Groundhog Day.
Thank you.
That's it.
Aloha. My name's Dave Kaiser, and I live in Nanavali Estates. The Navy made a technician out of me, and every time I go out to, I check the pH of my water from the catchment, and I find it's roughly around 3.4. That's going to need a lot of baking soda. Just recommendations here. And I measured the sediment sizes of a sieve set that's coming off from the volcano, and what we have is coming out as 500, 250, 125, 63 and smaller sediments. It's the 63 and smaller that means you should be changing your filters very often now, because if you don't, if that gets into the system, you're going to be having problems, especially in your car. So I would recommend you change your filter in your car, and if you're on catchment, that you change your catchment filter also. Okay, well, that's it.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Harry Parmelo. I used to live in vacation land, but I work in Leilani and I own property in Lava Tree. Last week I asked about the water quality, and this week, you know, I'd like to see if the county or the civil defense can come together with a real set of parameters so that we're not all guessing about the differences of the water quality. We could possibly be setting up, you know, we could test for pH and things as the rain hits, so we would know. You know, I set up the customers with a shutoff or just not at all because of that. And I think water quality and air quality are two of our most damaging. You know, it's more dangerous than lava, I think, because it's going to affect more of the island. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Freddie Iona. So I live on Kamaili Road, and I just wondering, like, we get all these people coming down, parking in our driveways, in my neighbor's driveways. So we need something to be done down there, because what this is doing is attracting all the the guys that are ripping off. So they are parking there too, and maybe we need something like signage or something. And we have the police coming down, but they're not doing anything. But maybe because we need signs or something, and no stopping or no parking. I can take pictures if you guys like, whatever, but this past weekend I had somebody parking across my driveway, not even in the car, nobody there, probably hiking out to the lava. So yeah, we need one solution, something that going not have people parking in our driveways, because all my neighbors is concerned for their property, because we live right in the area of the SO2 gases. So we cannot stay in our house. We are forced to stay somewhere else. So if you guys know where the S-turn is, that's where I live, born and raised. And I get so much unknown people. One day I sat on my truck outside, and everybody that passing was all unknown people. So I need a solution that you guys gotta come up with and deter all these people from parking in my place, my neighbor's place. That's all I get, and mahalo to all you guys for all you guys' help.
Thank you.
Aloha, Robert Patrici from the Pohoiki subdivision. So we all saw the fire last week that took some houses over in Noni Farms Road. We have that same problem at Pohoiki now, and what we really need is somebody to help us get in there with a tractor so we can cut our fire breaks now so we don't lose our homes. It's not something that can wait. It's not something that we should wait 2 weeks to do. It's something that if you got resources to do marijuana eradication, you got resources to take us in there with a tractor so we can cut our fire breaks now and save our houses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Aloha, Eileen O'Hara, and I just want to remind folks that we do have open voting polls in Pahoa. We weren't going to, but now we do, thanks to ACLU writing a rather stringent letter to the Office of Elections. So it's not going to be here, and I wanted to remind folks it's going to be at the community center. Both precincts 3, which is Ainaloa on down to Kalapana, and precinct 4, which was Leilani, Nanavali, Po'oiki, Kapoho, is going to be, that's precinct 4, that is going to be at the community center on Election Day, August 11th. They've already opened up early walk-in voting that started yesterday. So if you want to get it out of the way, you can go in between the hours of 8 and 4 if you haven't already voted. Just a reminder. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob Ernst with HICOP. I wanted to thank the administration. I was here with the Pahoa flow. We were in this room. We weren't allowed to speak. I think some of you may remember that. And mahalo to Mayor Kim and the administration for providing this opportunity for the people to be able to address you all, and then all the people here can hear what's going on. It's a tremendous improvement. HICOP, Hawaii Island Coalition Malama Pono, the sole purpose of HICOP is to return serenity to Hawaii Island, free from tour helicopter noise. And I've been watching these videos, and HICOP gets a tremendous amount of complaints. I could read them to you, but we don't have time. Out of HPP, out of Papaya Farms Road, out of the entire area. Your life has been made miserable from what's been going on here with the lava. There's nothing you can do about that. But there's everything you can do about these tourcopters making your life continuously miserable. I know you probably can't see this, but this is what the FAA did for Long Island, New York, the second largest island in the nation. Hawaii Island is the largest nation. We have more copters on this, more copter operations on this island than any other place in the nation. We can get the FAA to do the same thing for this island as they did for Long Island. 100% of your county council, including Eileen, who just spoke, you go to highcop.org, you'll see her picture there, you'll see what she wrote, advocates for the offshore route. Joy, 5 out of 7 representatives. You can go and see Joy's picture on our site. You can see what she wrote advocating for the offshore route. We can bring serenity back to Hawaii Island, and it doesn't hurt the copter operators. They stay in business. Thank you very much, and I will be here if you want to talk about this issue. Mahalo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Aloha, Lance Rittenhouse, Black Sands. Couple things.
Try talk closer to the mic.
Curious about the smoke coming up on the plates up top on 130. The gates usually seem to be closed at night from 6 o'clock. If there was ever a way to need to get out, doesn't seem to be a way to get out if something happens there. Notice a lot more smoke on both sides of the road versus just coming out of the plates. The forest seems to be very full of smoke now. And the gentleman said down in Opeka, the same goes for Kalapana, Black Sands, Seaview. They're driving through once a night, but there's still strange people rolling in and out of our subdivisions, and nothing's being done about it. So that's my question. Yesterday I noticed a vehicle roll through, and it just rolled through. We're still having earthquakes. We're still having all the same symptoms down there, but yet we don't have much traffic and enforcement, and there's nobody down there to do anything about it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Haida Austin.
Can you speak closer to the mic so we can hear you?
Is this better?
More, you have to kind of be right close to it.
Okay. My name is Haida Austin. I live right above, 1,000 feet above the steel plates on 130. There seems to be a confusion about where I live because right now civil defense seems, or I got a letter saying that my house is uninhabitable and that I was in the Alaili neighborhood. But my address is 13-3782 Pahoa Kalapana Road. And that is Upper Kamaili. It's Mauka of 130. I do not have access to Ala'ili at all. So that brings me to the other problem. That is that uninhabitable letter that I got from, that the tax people worked so hard on, and also civil defense worked on so that we could get some help from Red Cross. But that didn't happen because Red Cross can only give us help if we are mandatorily evacuated or have no access. That, I'm going to make it real quick. The third issue is that my driveway is 1,000 feet. It has temperatures measured by HVO at boiling point at 100 degrees Celsius and numerous cracks. And if I was, civil defense said they would notify me at a moment's notice to let me know when it was time to leave, because it's accessible. And, but I said, there's no phone, I have no sewer, no water, and the same problem as the water and the projectiles and everything else falling down in there. The forest is dead. We need definitely a fire break. The whole forest is dead all the way across to Ala'ili, all the way down. I made a 40-foot myself, I'm 77 years old, around my cabin, a clearing, because I can't do anything about lava, I can't do anything about the earthquake, but I figured I need a fire break. And plates on my driveway if I'm supposed to be driving up and down there.
Thank you. Could you get with Eric? Eric, you can get with her. Okay. I want to make sure you fill out one of those cards because you had a really specific question about an address.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nick. I'm from the Papaya Farms Road, Railroad Avenue evacuation area. And I'm prompted to come and speak because some people in my neighborhood have apparently treated the authorities with not much respect. And I'm here to tell you my experience with the authorities has been just one of a lot of appreciation. The National Guard, the police, Bill from the Civil Defense, Neil Azevedo from the Highways Division have been nothing but helpful, friendly, lots of aloha. I was emotional at how much help they offered, and also the volunteers besides the community agencies. I want to say that and tell the authorities that and anybody that's been mistreated in my neighborhood that not everybody feels the same way about you. There's lots of aloha in the neighborhood, and we're glad to have you there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, one more.
My name is Catherine Rathbun, and I live beyond that checkpoint that Nick lives on beyond as well. And most often we're very grateful. However, when there were 2 checkpoints, and it was a voluntary evacuation, and I do voluntarily live there, it's a challenge. But while we were voluntarily evacuated to a neighbor just down the road who can't come and check on me, I was home checking on animals and gardens, and it was obvious that someone had been lurking around my house, leaving filter cigarette butts. So that made me a little nervous with all the checkpoints. I also had a time where I needed AAA. AAA cannot get back past the checkpoint. FEMA cannot get past the checkpoint. Yes, we are voluntarily still there. Right now, I'm trying to get maybe moved out. I have no one to help me take my valuables. I don't know, on a good day, it's hard to get worker bees down there. And it's a challenge, and mostly we rise to it. But just the fact that AAA, FEMA are not allowed beyond the checkpoint, it's a frustration. And I'm very well aware it's merely a matter of extreme inconvenience for some of us. AAA, it could have worked out a lot differently. They should be allowed beyond a checkpoint when we are able to get, phone service is very sketchy down there on a good day. But thanks for everybody being here and hearing us all out as much as it does.
Thank you. Okay, so now it looks like that was our last speaker. So we're ready? Okay, Ron, are you first? You were walking over? You're distributing. Ron's gonna, are you gonna answer a question? Okay, so what I'm gonna ask the people who are responding to these questions to do is, because a lot of people spoke, please give us a little, tell us the area you're in. You know, like this is in response to the questions about the cell phone, etc. And then respond. And then if you can keep your answers as brief as possible, we can get to as many answers and comments tonight as possible. So who's going first? You gonna go? Ron's gonna go first.
Just quickly, on the questions about restricted airspace and helicopters, we don't have anyone here from National Guard tonight who is establishing and enforcing the restricted airspace, but we'll follow up on that. Related to helicopter noise, and I apologize, I don't have the website address, but there is a website established specifically for logging helicopter noise complaints, as well as a toll-free number. And so we would encourage you to use that to log the complaints. Those then are forwarded directly to an organization that the air operators establish to respond to and address site-specific complaints. So I'll get that address and make sure it's available.
Yeah, so if you want to get that specifically, you can fill out a purple card. Okay, I see, Roy, you've got a question that you're going to respond to. Thanks.
Question on condemnation. That is a complicated decision to make, and it's not a decision that is made unilaterally by the administration. It would require council approval, and that process would invite your opportunity to make your voice known in that decision at the council level in a public hearing. So that question, although it's under consideration, it's still being studied, and you will have your chance to input on that. Second question on the homes surrounded by lava. We're told that there is an insurance company out there called World Claims who can advocate on your behalf. They believe that you do have a legitimate claim. They would need to look at your policy, and they would give you advice for free. If you want them to pursue the claim, I understand that they would take 10% of the amount that they can collect on your behalf. And they should be, I think they have an office in Pahoa, World Claims. Okay, there was a question about those in the shelter and your fate. The shelters will not close and leave you hanging. There are people working with individual households to make sure that you have a place to go. So the shelters, if it takes staying open beyond a certain deadline, they will stay open until the last person is taken care of.
Thank you, Roy. Let's see.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Merrick Nishimoto. I work for the County of Hawaii, Department of Public Works, and there was a question about Highway 130. Highway 130 is a state road, a state route. However, I would like to address the question. I believe the gentleman had a concern about some of the smoke and the temperature of the steel plates on the road. Those are being monitored 24/7. There's cameras in the state DOT office, which monitors the temperature of the plates. We also have personnel that drive the road to physically look at cracks and to make sure that the road is safe. So there's constant monitoring 24/7. The other concern I heard was about some locked gates for, I believe, possibly for Sanford's Quarry. I'm not sure where he was talking about, but if that is the location, yes, we apologize, those gates are locked. However, we do have the combinations that are given out to all the personnel that are in the field, and the combinations are also known at the EOC. So if police, fire, public works, or somebody needs to open the gate, if they do not have the code on them, they can call civil defense, and we will give them the gate combinations, and they can open it up for any emergency egress.
Thank you. Parks and Rec.
Hi, Maurice Messina from Parks and Rec. Just to follow up on what Roy said, we are going to keep the shelters open as long as there is a need. As far as kicking people out of the shelter, let it be known that if you are breaking rules at the shelter, if you're breaking laws, if you're doing drugs, if you're threatening other people in the shelter, if you're stealing stuff from other people in the shelter, we will not let you stay in the shelter. That is not what the shelter's for. The shelter is for people who are struggling, people who do not have a place to go. We will take care of you as long as we can, as long as there's a need. As far as food goes, yes, World Central Kitchen is no longer serving food. However, Salvation Army is serving food. I've eaten the food. It is good. Okay, we appreciate everybody who's helping us out with that. You can stay in the shelter as long as you're not breaking any laws. You break laws, we're going to get you out. Thank you.
Thanks. Talmadge, do you have some responses? Who else? Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. More responses.
Hello, aloha. My name is Alan Simeon, Director for Public Works, and this addresses or semi-addresses the parking on Kama'ili Road. Kama'ili Road is a county road, so normally the no parking signs is done by ordinance and or resolution has to go to the county council. But we're gonna check our emergency proclamation. Also, we'll work with civil defense because they have the power for emergency policies. So we'll work with them and we'll get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Talmadge? Oh, more? Oh, this way. They're coming at me from all sides.
My name is Eric Honda. I'm with the Department of Health. The question regarding the water quality for water catchments. We just learned last week that the CTAR, College of Tropical Agriculture and Human Resources, they have a water testing program. So from what we're told, CTAR and the county is in talks right now to try and develop a testing program for you folks. So I guess as more information comes out, we'll get it out to the community.
Thank you.
Okay, couple topics. First, the aviation helicopter work. So for this operation, we do work. We fly early, generally earlier than later these days, but we're out there. And it's just the nature of viewing lava, and that's why the aviation helicopter and the boat tours are doing so well, because that's the only access to this lava. So that part of our economy is thriving. You know, as far as your impacts through the aviation, where we fly, the operation area, we have a TFR keeping the aircraft above 3,000 foot. You know, that noise level kind of expands a little bit more, but you're going to have to talk to the FAA to get any kind of flight restrictions with the aviation. But note, you know, if you send them offshore, that means the people that live along the coast are going to be impacted. So it's one recommendation that came up that sounded pretty good was let them follow the traffic corridors, you know, highways and so forth. So you might consider that, but FAA is the administration to go to for any kind of aviation restrictions. So the placard system, as far as being burdensome, it has to be, you know, that way. We're trying to protect people's lives, their property, people's businesses, and so, you know, we've tried to work it out to be as simple as possible, and we're going to put it in writing so it's easy to understand. But you know, I'm just sorry that it's going to be burdensome. But like we say, this is the new normal, and it's not like it used to be. So until this volcano stops, you know, we'll keep making adjustments when we see they need to be made, or we can figure out a new way. But this is what, you know, it gets vetted by many people before we put it out to you guys. But that's what we've come up to provide you the safest regulation for your safety and for businesses and your property. As far as people using the placards, you know, to gain access and do business and so forth, if you see these people in there, you know, we can't be everywhere, and just like any other law, you know, you call 911 or report them that they're in there. You know, definitely if you see that they're in an unsafe area, that somebody's going to be hurt, definitely report it. But that's what I request. If you guys see these folks doing that kind of activity, please report them to us. You know, somebody else asked about they don't like the restrictions, but that's what we came up with. If you have a better alternative, we'll listen to you, but it's still got to achieve the same goals, keeping you safe, keeping the property safe. And then as far as fire breaks, you know, fire breaks are a good idea, putting defensible spaces between your house and fuel. As far as in the Malamaki area, I know we've worked with you guys as far as authorizing you guys to go in that area and watch over your houses and do some more evacuations. But with the added thing of a fire, wildland fire, fast-moving wildland fires, we have to even be more safe. So, you know, we'll talk to you guys about that. We're not going to haul the county's equipment in there. So I know some of you guys might have equipment in there that can do the work. So let's talk about that and see what we can do. But wildland fire is a lot faster moving than this lava at this point, so we have to be very careful. And as far as communication going both ways, I think the effort that we've done tonight, you know, shows that we heard you guys last meeting. And like I said, we're open 24 hours. You call that EOC 24 hours. Call them at midnight. Call them at 3 in the morning. Somebody's there to answer the phone. We want to keep communication, and we're open to that. So, you know, I give you guys my word on that. That's all the questions I had.
Wow, amazingly enough, we're at 6:28, so we did it in an hour and a half. I really want to thank all of you for coming out here tonight. I want to thank out all the department heads for coming tonight, and thanks for being so articulate and passionate, caring enough to offer your suggestions, and helping us conduct this meeting with Aloha. Have a good evening.